Hello, my name's Stephen. I'm a youth minister down in Brighton. Welcome to Lockdown. Praise up your 8 minutes. I will stick to it today. Come on. A day in Isaiah to get your hearts and your minds looking up higher. Today we're back in Isaiah 24. We're thinking dancing, we're thinking singing, we're thinking zombie apocalypse. Very exciting. Welcome to my office now. Let me show you something really beautiful. It's this little ladybird. Oh, I like him. He sits on my shelf. Wady bird. Anyway, it's time for your daily challenge. And today, can you memorize this phrase in a different language? Here's the phrase: the mongoose has fled with a coconut. Wouldn't it be cool to memorize that and say it to your crew? Oh, try it. Right, here's my attempt. Mongoen har fluket med kokosnot. Norwegian. The mongoose has fled with the coconut. Go for it. Good luck. Today we're back in Isaiah 24, verses 14 to 16. And remember what we've seen so far. In Isaiah 24, judgment is coming and it's going to devastate the whole earth. And it's coming because of sin. And actually, that kind of means that little side point, but Isaiah 24 is saying that the biggest threat to our climate and our earth is sin. Isn't that interesting in our world that's focused on climate change at the moment? But anyway, it's a joyless and bleak picture of desolation and devastation. But yet, listen. Wait, do you hear it? Verse 14 of Isaiah 24. Do you hear the sound? Verse 14. They raise their voices, they shout for joy. There's the faint shout and cry of joy rising louder and louder. Joy in a joyless land. Wow! Now, what's being pictured here is a bit like a dance party that I went to a while back. Now, I spent some time with a group called YWAM, their Youth with a Mission in my 20s, and we lived in a house with about 22 people, right? And every week or so we'd have a dance party down in the basement. It was pretty epic. And there was one of these dance parties that I remember distinctly because, well, everyone was there for the first bit of it. Everyone was like dancing, pumping away, loving it. And as the hours ticked by, people slowly drifted away. One by one, until there were only 8 of us left. 8 of us left, dancing away. After 5 hours, we stopped. The room heavy with sweat and hot and sticky, but we had made it. We were the survivors, the victorious 8 who'd made it through the night, through the dance party. Man, have a look at this photo. This is taken afterwards because of our victory. I look so sweaty there. You can kind of get a picture of just how intense it was, but we made it. And we burst open that door into fresh air, triumphant, like tie untied, like, yes, the survivors. And that's kind of like the picture Isaiah's painting here in Isaiah 24. People who make it through the judgment and devastation. Survivors. And look at them in verse 14. They raise their voices, they shout for joy. They are buzzing and pumped and like, yes. And here's the message. God's people will party like no one else. God's people will party like no one else. It's a scene of jubilation and joy and like, yeah, we're survivors. And did you see where they're coming from? Have a look at verse 14. From the west, they acclaim the Lord's majesty. Verse 15, in the east, give glory to the Lord. Verse 15 again, in the islands of the sea. Verse 16, from the ends of the It's like a scene from a zombie apocalypse movie. You know, like when there's like tumbleweed and it's like dusky and dark and there's like rubble everywhere. But then from the rubble, people start rising up, crawling out of holes, and they come from all over the place and they start gathering. That's what's going on here, like zombie apocalypse style, all over the world. Gathering. And there is great joy because God's people will party like no one else. And like, this is a great reminder for us that God has people all over the world in places and countries that we don't know about. Even in your schools, even in your classes, people that you don't know about that are his. Isn't that a great encouragement when you feel alone? And when you feel like life is really hard. There are over 2 billion Christians in the world. That's a lot of Christians. And God's people will party like no one else. So we'll join together with all of those guys and girls from all of history to party like no one else. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not alone. Amidst the devastation, God's people are standing. And this is one of the themes of Isaiah, right? And it won't even feel like a golden thread, that the fact that God's got a small group of faithful people. He has his faithful people, and he keeps them safe through all the ups and downs of floods and Assyrians and Babylonians and judgment that comes. He keeps his faithful people safe, and that's true today too. If you are trusting in Jesus, you are one of his faithful people, and he will keep you safe through anything and everything that comes your way. He won't let you go. Yes! See, you will join that great party because God's people will party like no one else. But notice it's will. That's the future. This is a picture of the future. And so what about the right now? Well, the right now, Isaiah tells us God's people will suffer now along with everyone else. Over and over and over again, God's faithful people are suffering with everyone else. When Assyria comes, they're there too. When Babylon comes later, they're there too. Please remember this, because I think we often get into a trap, thinking we deserve great things and an easy life. And then we get broken and frustrated when things like the coronavirus crops up and our plans start changing, or difficult friendship stuff appears. And we think, how could God let this happen to me? Well, God never guarantees us an easy life. He never guarantees us a suffering-free now. But he does guarantee us a suffering-free future. He guarantees that God's people will party like no one else, and he will get us there. So hold on to that in these difficult and hard and strange times. Because look at them. See, God's people will suffer now along with everyone else, but they will party like no one else in the future. And have a look at them in verse 16. From the ends of the earth we hear singing, glory to the righteous one. Now, I've been in a few spine-tingling singing moments in my life. Just 2. Number 1 was singing Living on a Prayer at a Bon Jovi concert in Milton Keynes. Whoa! That was something special. Whoa! We're halfway. Anyway. But number 2 was the FA Cup 3rd round 2007 Barnet v Colchester. Oh my word. Singing, like the 200 Barnet fans are more than that. They're singing and belting it out like, come on Barnet, come. Because when people join together in moments of pure joy and elation, the singing that's produced is second to none. And so just imagine, just bask in the sound of verse 16. It will put all other singing moments to shame. Nothing else will ever come close to that incredible, awesome, sensational sound of all of God's people joining together singing, glory to the righteous one. We will party like no one else. So when today is really hard, when this week is really hard, close your eyes and hear that song. And remember that God's people will suffer along with everyone else, but God's people will party like no one else. And so one of the things to do is to keep listening to Christian tunes. Like, it's so important to fill our ears with these tunes and songs of joy. Because, well, we'll suffer now along with everyone else, but we will party like no one else. Let's pray. And Father, thank you for this glimpse of our future. Thank you that we will survive. And not just survive, but we'll be filled with joy and joining this beautiful song. Thank you for this future party. Help us to keep thinking about that when today is hard. Amen. Amen. That's episode 22 of Lockdown Praise Up. Join us again tomorrow for some feasting and some food. Oh, I can't wait. Isaiah 25.